The main driver for the effect on the UK energy market will be speculation. Now, the issue that we're going to find here is that in the short term, the effect on gas, as UK as a natural producer, won't be too much of an effect in terms of prices going up. However, what we will see is the effect on electricity prices. The non-half-hourly and half-hourly markets have already increased since the decision was made back in 2016. The issue going forward, I think, from this will be the fact that it's all imperative on the trade agreements that the UK reach with the EU. Now, it'll be on the back burner slightly, but when we come around to having those discussions, if a bad trade agreement is reached, then what we will see going forward will be the effect on electricity prices and the supply of electricity, with the potential getting locked out of the internal European market, affect long-term prices for electricity, which means they'll go up and have a detrimental effect on the UK. I think fundamentally what OJEU has taught us is that procurement policies are sound, fundamental, and they improve the way business operates. The UK will continue with these policies, whether that be in the guise of OJEU or their independent policies within the UK. I think the same aspects and same processes will continue to take place over the long term. The only issue is whether we have access to European businesses and tenders going forward, and reciprocally the EU would like to be able to trade freely in terms of using OJEU as a tool to access UK businesses. Now, what this means is that we're going to have proper trade agreements and proper policies in place with the EU to ensure that these procurement policies are good for the UK, good for the EU, and we can trade freely as we have been doing for the last 15 to 20 years. I think what social landlords will have to do is actually change the topic of conversation. It's always been fundamentally a supply side question. What are energy prices doing and how can we mitigate that? I think what we have to start looking at is demand. Over 50% of the energy bill is now non-commodity charges, including government levies. So what can we do to counteract that by being more sustainable, looking at your monitoring and targeting, reducing consumption, reducing emissions, and becoming more efficient in terms of resources? Now, what we're looking to do is potentially implement a 5-year plan with key deliverable milestones to reduce demand. What we should start looking at is not the question of supply, but the question of demand and how we can counteract that.